Hello and welcome to your weekly in-depth horoscope for week commencing the 3rd of February for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. This week begins with Mercury gliding into the sign of Pisces, the 12th sign of the Zodiac, and one which is very much to do with introspection. Mercury, of course, is to do with communication, but in this particular sector, it is, in essence, in detriment. So it's not its best transit, and this can lead to some sluggish communication, not unlike a retrograde, which ironically is going to start to happen later this month. So we need to work at our communications. But actually, Mercury does forge a beautiful link with Uranus this week. So if there is a hunch that we get, which comes from Pisces, and it is about our resources, it's possible, especially if it's something new or different or fresh, that it could work out splendidly well. Now, Neptune and Jupiter are the two rulers of the sign of Pisces, and they're collaborating beautifully this week. So if we can find ways to connect with people in a more sensory way, use a degree of intuition, I do feel it's possible that this can be good even in business scenarios too. Now, Venus also starts this week in the sign of Pisces, so there's a lot of energy in this sign. But by the end of the week, by Friday, Venus moves into the sign of Aries, where technically it's in full, so another not necessarily best location. But actually, Venus in Aries, I think, can be really quite sparkling and effervescent. It gives us the push to take the initiative around our relationships, especially if we're single, and also it embraces the energy of the wounded healer Chiron almost immediately. So if there is a relationship which is suffering a little bit, I do feel this and the full moon, which occurs on Sunday, is an ideal opportunity to try to get things working more sweetly. Now, whether this is in a romantic scenario or friendship or with a colleague, it doesn't really matter. You can use this full moon to your advantage. The key here is the Leo full moon is very much about balancing what we need to do for ourselves as individuals and also what's good for the collective, which comes from the energy of Aquarius. And that energy is also jarred right through this week by the quarter moon, which occurred right at the end of last week and provides a backdrop for the whole of this one. So I think we could find ourselves in a situation where our values, whether it's around our outlook to life or more about physical, financial approaches, may be an area where we experience some kind of pinch point with another person. But the full moon can tease all of this out into the open, and with Venus moving into this area, that's really saying to us, look, try to find solutions by taking the initiative. Your specific forecast, Scorpio, suggests that everyday communications, which perhaps has been quite a charged area over the last couple of years, particularly interactions with siblings or neighbours, or just your thinking generally has maybe been a bit inhibited, I think that has a real opportunity to flow beautifully for you this week, as Jupiter, the planet of growth, in that part of your scope now, forges a lovely link with Neptune. You could find yourself having a real meeting of minds and soul with someone special in a conversation. Also, there is a really lovely link between Jupiter and the Sun. Jupiter is in your third house, the Sun in your fourth solar house. So that's very much to do with the heart of your existence, the base of your operation. So your environment, your home, your family world. So if there has been some strains with a family member, but particularly a sibling, there could be some warmth that comes in this week that really pleases you. Now, Monday does see Mercury, the planet of communication, move out of an inhibited area into a much more free-flowing one. And it also forges an instant link with Uranus. Don't be surprised if you have a surprise connection with someone this week, or an arrangement is made completely out of the blue, which really pleases and delights you. It could even get your pulse racing too. However, Venus moves out of your sector of romance on Friday of this week into a much more practical area. It suggests that when it comes to your work, you may have to be quite diplomatic in your approach. And the full moon, which occurs on Sunday, in the most visible part of your situation, is going to see your feelings very close to the surface. So whether it's around your worldly interactions and work or your home life, there is going to be some sensitive stuff going round. But I think if there is someone at work who's not quite getting where you're coming from in terms of your familial needs or what's just going on with you at the present time, if you do try to say how you feel with that element of diplomacy coming from Venus, I do think that's going to be a smart thing to do. It's been a real pleasure being with you. If you'd like to elevate your knowledge above your zodiac sign and embrace serious astrology, please see the link beneath this video. You can order your 12-month forecast and character analysis based on your time, date and place of birth and get 30% off. Or you can choose to have a one-to-one consultation with me. But for now, good luck and goodbye.